We are in 2025 and families are needing to stretch their dollar the further than they ever have. People want to live the dream without breaking the bank. And so today we're going to take a look at some of the most cost-effective areas of Fort Myers Metro and see where your money can go its furthest. All right, let's jump right in. Hi everyone, it's Chelsea here from Gather Home Group, bringing you another segment of living in Southwest Florida. No joke, it's gotten expensive to just breathe lately. But even with the cost of eggs out of control, people still need to live life. And sometimes that means finding a good location for retirement or a slew of other factors, like perhaps a divorce or job or family reasons. Regardless, knowing where your money can go its furthest while still living your life is really important. So let's take a look at several parts of town and see where it is most economical. Now, for a frame of reference, I'm using data from the sales of December 2024, since that's the most recent currently available to me. And then I'm going to go ahead and compare that to the national median sales price, which was $419,200. According to Royal Palm Association of Realtors, the median sales price here was $427,000. And while that is above the median sales price nationally, this is including stats of like Naples, where it blows it out of the water. So if we look at just Lee County, for example, and even taking into account Sanibel and the islands, the average still came to $400,000, which would put us under the national median. And this is illustrative of my point, right? There are parts of the area that can still be economical and can still see someone's dreams come true. So let's take a look closer and see what those areas might be. All right, let's jump into some data. Hi everybody. Okay, so what we were talking about here was that the median sales price for all of the MLS data, and we're going to be using a couple different versions, but for Royal Palm, I'm currently in Domus Analytics, which is their version of the analytics program, and it takes in all of Royal Palm's data for Southwest Florida. And with single family, condo, and townhouses, we are looking at an average sales or a median sales price, which would be if you drew a line and you put one above and one below, and one above and one below until you got to the middle ground. The middle ground for here would be $427,000. Now keep in mind, this is including more expensive locations, like for example, Collier County alone, which includes Naples and some more remote areas. They're going to find that their numbers jump to $657,500. And if I go to Lee County is actually going to come in less than I told you before. It's jumping in at $385,000. I want to look at specifically single family homes today. And so when I do that, we're going to see the numbers drop to, or come in at 400,000, which is what I said previously. Why don't we go ahead? Actually, I think I'm going to keep in condos and townhouses. I'm kind of deciding this on the fly, but let's go ahead and look at area number 10. So area number 10, in terms of the locations prices, is going to be Fort Myers number 14. And this is right here. This is the San Carlos Park location. So San Carlos Park is going to have their median sales price at $399,500. That is going to be on a map. We are looking at this area here. So it's a little bit more inland. It's seeing a lot of new construction lately, and it is a gentrifying location. This is county versus city, and so there are less taxes, but there's also less regulation. There's not really any HOAs, just a couple that should be showing up in this area, and so a little bit less regulation, and sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes people think that's a bad thing. So it's really whether or not you want to decide whether or not that's a factor for you. but it's pretty commutable in between Fort Myers and lower locations like Estero, or even going down all the way down to Naples. And I would classify it as a gentrifying neighborhood. There is a lot of new construction going on in there right now, and so we're going to see those prices start to reflect that and reflect its convenient location at the $399,500. And there you go. There you can see it. All right. I'm going to select several of these now. We're going to look at 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. And these are coming in at 300. Where are we? Actually, we're coming in even lower once I keep condos and townhouses. Single families should put us more at 390,000. So 390,000 for single family homes in this location. And I believe we just saw it was 315. Let me pull that back up. 315. And now this location, and let me choose it over here as well. 1, 3. Oops. This is going to be more of our mid-city area. So along here is our McGregor corridor, Whiskey Creek, which is a very reputable, it's older, probably like 70s, 80s mostly, but a very reputable community. We've got historic parts like the Edison Park area, Palm Lee, Seminole. And so this area along McGregor is pretty desirable for its location because it's so convenient to everything. And you are going to see the single families at 390,000, and with condos we were looking at 315. So pretty affordable part of town and very convenient location. Now, part of what's keeping this pricing in check is going to be that it's in a little bit of an older neighborhood, and so it's more historic. You're going to find mid-century moderns here. You're going to find your 60s homes here. And so that was going to keep the prices in check for this one. The next area I'd like to jump over to is going to be, let's see here. These may or may not be in or out of order. I think this is number 7, but I don't know if price-wise it becomes number 7. Let's jump over to 6 Mile Cypress. So 6 Mile Cypress is going to be FM16. That's going to be this area here. Along 6 Mile Cypress is where we're finding at the moment, or at least in December, and that could be because we're not, bringing in some of the other neighborhoods like Rookery, but Cypress K is in here. And some Heritage Palms is also going to fall in here. This area is going to be pretty convenient. You've got 6 Mile Slough right here. And as you can see, it's still also kind of midtown, so fairly decent for beaches. But it's coming up, and let me show you that. 6 Mile Cypress for FM16 was going to be at 300 and that can't be right. Oh, 309,000 with condos. Look at that. 309,000 with condos and 388,000 for single family homes. Let's jump over to Charlotte County. I would like to highlight for you guys, this one is coming in at 385, 450, and this area is going to be Punta Gorda. So Punta Gorda is covering just north of Cape Coral. This is the Charlotte line, so this is all taking place in Charlotte County versus Lee County. And it also includes this pocket over here is going to be Babcock Ranch. And you can see there are some options here that are going to be more expensive. 604, there's 590, 780, but you also find 290 and 249 and 395. And Babcock Ranch actually does have homes under 400. I was showing homes earlier this month under 400 over there, new construction. So, and some resale, but mostly new construction under 400. It is doable over there. And you're going to find them also over here in Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda is going to be a little bit more relaxed pace of life, but you can see there's plenty of options, and the waterfront ones are going to be a little bit more expensive. The ones that are going to be inland are going to be a little less expensive, but there's options. You can find them over there. And you're going to find that this was a little bit quieter in terms of locations. There wasn't, population is starting to move up that way. People who had been in Cape Coral and felt like Cape Coral got a little busy have started to move to Punta Gorda. And so Punta Gorda is like the new Cape Coral. But it's got a really cute downtown, and it's just a little bit quieter place to be. All right, speaking of Cape Coral, let's jump over to Cape Coral. So Cape's pricing. And just so people are clear, this is that south side. So you could see over here that burnt store marina. This is where the line was for Punta Gorda. And we're now south of that. So this is covering all of Cape Coral. And all of Cape Coral will be $382 for single family homes. So $382,000 is the median sales price for single family homes in Cape Coral. And the number is actually lower. If I include condo and townhouse, we're now at $376 with $376,183. So Cape Coral is a very desirable place to live. It's one of the places that I get contacted about the most. Ton of new construction going on over here. And this is going to be one of those areas, I would say it's already gentrified. You're going to find a lot of development. It's mostly established down here in South Cape. This is also all on utilities, and so it's going to be a little bit more expensive if it's on the utilities. And then you're going to find that it's a little bit less expensive up here in the northern area where they're still building out the sewer lines and the water lines. So otherwise you've got well and septic up there. But South Cape, you're going to have really great boating access. That'll affect price. Pools will affect price. But as a whole, you can find a single family home under $400,000 and definitely under the national median over in Cape Coral. Now, another neighborhood that is going to be further north, we're going to jump to... Actually, before we do that, let's jump over to Lehigh, because Lehigh is very similar to what Cape Coral was, I don't know, maybe like 20, 30 years ago. So Lehigh is unincorporated city, and it doesn't have as many condos. I'm going to go ahead and take those out. But Lehigh's number is going to be $339,999. And when I add these in, you're going to see it really makes very minimal difference to it, $399,250. That's because the city's built out very similarly to how Cape Coral is. Most of it is going to be lot by lot by lot by lot, and it's not going to be big subdivisions. Now there is some of that going in there now. So we are seeing that happen over there with some of the newer developments. Let me show you where I'm talking about. So here's our Lehigh location, all over here just north of 82. And Lehigh, again, is a gentrifying location. There will be areas that you may want to check crime stats on, just putting that out there. There's also areas I would feel totally comfortable walking my dog as a woman walking at night. So it really just can depend on the location. There are some neighborhoods that are very developed, and there are some neighborhoods that are not, and still very wooded and needing to get utilities and things like that. There's not, everything's well and septic over here. So that might be something that you may want to consider. There are some land over here in the northern section over by Alva and Buckingham that you're going to find that are like acre lots. So you can find some land over there. If you want privacy, you may be able to find that in Lehigh. I have a friend who owns 2 lots there. She's got a lot of privacy so that she can have some extra space. You can also start to find those HOA developments. There are some really great HOAs going in over there, gated communities that are absolutely beautiful and very affordable because they are located in Lehigh versus, downtown Fort Myers. So sometimes that matters, right? So you can find different options over in Lehigh that are affordable. We're talking about $339,000. You could find newer construction over in Lehigh. A lot of new construction is going in over in Lehigh right now. Speaking near this, I happen to skip over Buckingham, and Buckingham right in here, and I can show those to you. But Buckingham's locations are coming in, and you're going to find more land in Buckingham, but this is also an area that's currently being developed. So here it is on the map for you. This area is actually a neighborhood called, let's see here, Portico is going to be in here. And you're going to find off of Buckingham Road, this is a smaller, older community. And so you can find, like, some of these are going to be land. I can guarantee you this is probably land. This location is actually over near an old air park. And so there's Buckingham East that's got an air park with homes that are deeded to have their own private runway. It's kind of a unique location, but just outside of town, but still very close to a lot of things. And it could be one to consider. You can find a lot of new construction over in this part too. Now this part, number-wise, it's going to be a little bit higher than Lehigh Acres is going to be. Let me jump over to Buckingham for you. Buckingham's prices, while I have it written, I want to show you. Let's see, select all, select none, Buckingham. So Buckingham's prices is going to be at $377,500. And that, they don't really have a ton of condos, so that didn't change the price there, so I'll leave that up. But $377,500. You can see that this actually went up year over year, again, because we've got a lot of new construction going on over there. Let's go ahead and jump to an area whose pricing is very similar to Lehigh's pricing, but is actually very different. So that is going to be North Fort Myers. Okay, so North Fort Myers, this is going to be over here on this side. Now this actually covers quite a bit of land. You can see it's not only just like kind of big, like in terms of geographic location, but it's also very diverse because there are some parts of North Fort Myers, for example, Suncoast Estates, which is going to be more mobile homes. They do tend to have a lot of locations where you own the land and you own the mobile home. You're not in a mobile home park, but they do have mobile home parks all throughout this area as well. These over here are going to be where your farmettes and your horse farms are going to be. There's a lot of agriculture going on over there. Over here is golfing communities. We've got Magnolia Landing up here and other ones that are going to be where you can find a lot of golfers landing. And then along here, like Waterway Estates is like a mid-century neighborhood that's all sailboat access water. So you've got a really wide range of homes located in North Fort Myers. And for North Fort Myers, with all of them included, we're only at $317,000. So your money can go further. The median sales price does really make a big difference. And then when we go to just single family homes, we're at $339,000. So there's a lot of new construction going on. We've got Crane Landing, we've got Coral Bay. I'm pretty sure Magnolia Landing is still building. So we've got several new constructions going on there. It's still close proximity to Cape Coral and straight across this bridge. This is downtown right here, the River District. And so we really do find it to be a very economical choice for many people, and your buck goes a little bit further in those locations. And there's really a lot of options over there, which is pretty interesting. All right, speaking of the bridge and downtown, I think I'm going to jump over to Fort Myers East now. So you're going to find that that's going to be this part right here. And this is going to be an older area. Fort Myers Shores is included over here. Let me see here. East Fort Myers. East Fort. Select all. Fort Myers East. So when I add in condos and townhouses, this number is going to be at 315,000. When I go ahead and do single family homes, we're looking at 327,000 for Fort Myers East. And I'm going to switch this map over for you too, so that you can take a look at this. Wrong direction. There we go. So you can see it's going all the way through here. Veranda, and let's see here. It looks like we've got possibly, should be, yeah, this should be like Cascades and River Hall area through here. Veranda can be very expensive. Veranda's got one of the best golf courses in all of Southwest Florida, 1.3 for a home. And then Fort Myers Shores is going to be a little bit of a boating and a fishing community. This area is older homes. Those are going to be your mid-centuries, again, your 1960s homes. Same thing with downtown. This area, I would say that you may want to check some statistics about some of these, but some along the river are really kind of interesting options. So, and you can't beat proximity to downtown. I feel like downtown areas do tend to be a little bit more cost effective nowadays, probably because they tend to be a little bit older and more dense. So, keep that in mind, but you do have locations here. Like, look, this is going to be a newer construction community, and we are looking at, Lakeström is going to be Cascades. I have actually personally toured this house, and this house was stunning. So there's a lot of options over here that will qualify for being more economical and under the median sales price. Now, we are getting pretty close to the end of this list here. I would say that we've got one more that I do want to highlight for you, and that is going to be further north. So it tends to be, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so you can see, but it tends to be that costs are going to be more expensive around Fort Myers, more expensive around Naples, more expensive around Sarasota, and then it kind of like, ripples out. So the further you get from those big cities, the less expensive it's going to be. And that's true with here in the middle. So Punta Gorda we already looked at, but Port Charlotte is also going to be more cost effective. So I'm going to pull up Port Charlotte over here for you. You may have seen that I actually had it up earlier. I can't remember if I kept that up here when I was started filming or not. But Port Charlotte had this area. It does flow a little bit over into Rotunda West. Mostly this is kind of the area I'm referring to, though. It does have some older homes, but there's a lot of waterfront property in here. Like there's $925,000. These homes are stunning. These over here are stunning. I have a client that overlooks these mangroves. I've got one over here and one over here. Their houses are gorgeous. Now, those are not the under $400,000 houses, obviously, but you do have options that are going to run through here that are more cost effective. And for their stats, you'll see that in December, the median sales price was $321,750. So entirely doable. All right, I believe that was 10 parts of town that were more cost effective. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Before we wrap this up, please let me know in the comments if I've missed an area or there's an area that you're specifically curious about, and we can take a look at those. If you have any questions about the area, feel free to reach out. I have all of my contact information below. And on the link tree in there, you can find links to my 96-page moving guide, Moving to Lee County, as well as direct access to the MLS to search for homes via my website. Or if you want to pick my brain and discuss the ins and outs of your own personal situation or compare things like waterfront homes or pool homes, then feel free to jump on there and book a link with me and some time directly with me. I love to jump on video calls with people and talk about what their needs are and whether or not Southwest Florida is going to be a good fit for them. As a heads up, my video schedule can sometimes be erratic. I'm a realtor, but I'm also a mom and a volunteer in my community, and I make these videos when I have a spare moment from serving others. So I really recommend that if you'd like more videos like this, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when I drop another one. And while we might not be on here daily, we do pretty much post daily over on social media things that might be of interest, like weekly articles and information and things that might be handy to you and give you insight as to what life in Florida looks like. As always, we really appreciate it when you leave us a comment and hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bells so you can be notified when we drop future videos that may help you with living in Southwest Florida. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I wish you much health and happiness.